Welcome, everyone, to Night City Stargazers, episode 17. Where we had left off, our group of edge runners had done some investigating on an AV attack, one that took place in a street not too far from where they are. An AV that seemed familiar. The crime scene was still being cleaned up, as there had been a number of individuals, both corporate and gangster, that had been still smeared across the pavement in the Night City streets, getting cleaned up by the meat wagons of the hospitals of Night City. Otherwise, one Marcus Calhoun and his associate, Takeki, had not been responding to Requiem's calls, which caused Requiem to get a little bit concerned. Possible friendship there in some respects. Well, that's to be seen still by the rest of our edge runners. But another thing that they had gotten up to was a sort of bodyguard job for the Valentinos. While sitting and waiting for something to go down, gunshots were heard further down the alleys and into the streets. And towards the end, a car left with a very familiar fixer. And they were paid and sent on their way. Some other little things have happened here and there, but suffice it to say, our edge runners have a lot that they want to be looking into. Where is Marcus Calhoun? What's happening with the Valentinos? And whatever else they might get up to. So, Trix, you've decided that you want to go surfing the news. See if you can find out anything that may be relevant or implied or something to that effect of one Marcus Calhoun.
Yep. Rack is still trying to get a hold of him, and I haven't heard otherwise from him. So, might as well do a little bit of digging on my own.
Okay.
New morning and all that.
Sure. Since you are searching the news records, more or less, I'm going to call that a library search roll.
Excellent. Got to get roll 22. There it is.
Ooh, a 22. That's a nice roll. You watch the news feeds, kind of scroll through the scream sheets, looking for any indication of Next Tech dynamics and anything happening there that's newsworthy. Not a whole lot of info is plainly written about the attack that happened to one of their AVs. Perhaps they're trying to keep it under wraps. Perhaps they're trying to keep it a little hush-hush at the moment. But the lack of information kind of gives you an idea that perhaps they're a little more than aware of what happened. The gangsters that had been identified in the cleanup of the crime scene had been identified as known Tiger Claw associates. A bunch of thugs, really. But cybernetic thugs, for the most part, as far as you know. Maybe not as borged out as your typical, uh, as your typical other out of other gangs, but definitely known to keep hidden weapons, maybe some cyber lakes, maybe a bunch of sort of improvements upon one's speed, as they're known for, and typically seen wearing masks or other such eyewear that maybe improves vision and things like that. So, but their their Asian influence might have to something to glean from that, as it's always been rumored that Arasaka's got their hands in the Tiger Claw's pockets.
I wouldn't doubt that, but there's nothing coming up about Calhoun. Gonna have to wait till either he reaches out to Rek or Rek gets a hold of him.
Otherwise, what looks like on the news is business as usual for Next Tech Dynamics.
Well, I think it might be safe to assume at that point that he might be okay if they're going about business as usual, but hard to tell with these corporations. But she'll send a message out to everyone else, say, hey, looks like he might have been okay. They're operating as normal right now.
Loup, Slideye, do you make any response? No? No responses to the text?
I think of a good response.
She's not necessarily expecting one.
Just giving y'all the opportunity to, if you want.
Yeah.
Any other dates?
Gangster's ID is Tiger Claws, and that's about it. All very hush-hush.
Any chance old lady fixers on this?
Would Wakako's name have come up on it? Or anything to do with her?
She's rumored to have had connections with Tiger Claws, but anything that would directly implicate her would not be a good look for a fixer.
Yeah. That's what I expected. Nothing openly.
Pick me up, we're dropping up, and get me over to the Loup. We need to talk.
Alright, on my way. And before she leaves, she'll just kind of look over at Jason, just go, you, me, we're out for a movie later on.
Out for a movie?
You can't keep sitting in here. And before he even has a chance to respond to that, she's out the door. On her way to get Slideye.
Where does one go for a movie? You overhear him say. But you make your way out the door to head towards Slideye to head over to Lou's place. Takes no more than an hour between everything. So, Lou, are you up to anything during the time before your friends show up?
I mean, if it's typical morning time, Lou is running around the block.
Hmm.
Getting her exercise in. Getting around to some. Probably just got back from a run. Probably still in sweats. Probably getting a little bit of breakfast together.
Yeah, sounds about right.
She's pouring some dry chow in a bowl.
Eating it like
That's what
cereal.
she's eating this month. So
Yeah.
yeah. She's pouring water over it, and she puts it in the microwave. 30 seconds, not very long, but just long enough.
Careful, that water's expensive.
Exactly, just enough to wet it. She pulls it out, and she makes a frown and stirs it around. And takes a bite, and then makes a face.
Kind of gross.
Just as bad.
But it's about then that you do hear a knock at your apartment door.
She goes to the door and looks through the eye hole. Sees Trix and Slideye, and hits the latch and opens it up. Well, what's the news?
Well, Tiger Claw's involved from last night. Apparently Slideye's got an idea of something to do.
I'm all ears.
Slideye.
Right?
You had been asked what her idea is.
Yeah, no, I'm looking over and keeping an eye on Lulu. You still want to get in good with Wakako?
I mean, yeah. Don't we want any chance we got?
Bad enough to do something stupider than put a bullet through my brain?
Absolutely.
How much can you end up pulling the specs of what the tiger claws are pulling around in? Can you dig any deeper right now? Without getting caught?
I could try.
They're trying to be hush about it, right? So whatever it is, it's important enough that they don't want to leak it out. It also falls to no outside contractors. If Wakako's in on it, then the tiger claws are how she's going to do it. With me so far? Okay. If the tiger claws are not involving Wakako, then they're doing it behind her back, cutting the fixer out, which is also a no-go. Now, what would happen, would you suppose, if their little ordeal somehow got compromised and at the last minute a bunch of uppity little kids just suddenly ran across a bunch of sensitive equipment and intel that the Tiger Claws were trying to get? The whole operation goes a bust, and then all of a sudden, here is everything you needed. Here you go, Wakako. Ran across something that might be of interest to you. No charge, just Figured we end up keeping on the level. Basic play. Wakako will see through it, but Wakako will also take it for what it really is. A showcase of skill to be able to end up taking out undercutting competition and being able to weed out some of the weakness out of the hip tiger claws. She gets to end up doing a little bit of internal cleaning, knowing exactly what needs to be cleaned up. She's going to end up getting what she wanted, or she's going to end up finding out that somebody was double dipping. In which case, well, not our problem. And it gives you the audience you actually wanted to, Lulu, if you think you can hack it. But this whole thing falls on Trix being able to end up figuring out what it is for us to intercept it at the appropriate time, hide our involvement until the last minute. And the last minute makes us look like we just happen to be there for another gig. Can you spin it? Well, Trix, can you spin that?
Yeah. Just gotta hook up someplace.
What about you, Lou? You ready to go round
Seems
two
like an
with
easy
Wakako?
story to sell. Yeah, let's do it.
Careful, Wakako's one of the big names. You don't become one of the big names without having a little bit of... Well, let's just say that she's not blind to what's going on, so don't treat her like an idiot. Wakako's not the type I want to stay on the bad side of, and we kind of already started with that. But you want in. You want options. This is something put on the table. Hell, for all I know, it's a fishing expedition for Wakako looking to find new talent. It's not the first time a fixer set up something like this, so let's trying to figure out who's smart enough to bite.
I like your thinking.
It's like I said the first night with the chip. Know what you can force.
Well, I'm going to have to find someplace to jack into then. We're going to do this
You're gonna
proper.
want to, Lou. You're gonna want to end up listening to what's going on, what the rep of the tiger claws are, and try and end up finding some way to polish this little turd of ours.
Yeah, you bet.
I'll be around if anything goes sideways.
Excellent. Well, I don't think I can jack into anything here to start digging into the tiger claw stuff. So, guess maybe get into a little bit more of their territory.
Yeah, well, just be glad that the classic internet isn't up.
Alright. So, what's the plan? Where are we going? What we doing?
Someplace within
can I make
Tiger
like
Claw.
a?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I make like a streetwise roll to see if I can identify like a tiger claw, target where we can get that information, maybe?
Yeah, let's do, since this really isn't your home turf, this is going to be
Right.
slightly more difficult as a streetwise roll, but you
Yeah.
can definitely roll it.
I'm gonna throw 2 luck at it.
Okay. Ooh, turns that to 18. Okay. Tiger claws primarily find their turf of residence to be Japantown, to be places like surrounding Jig Street, surrounding the different sides of the eastern district of Night City, which Slideye, your current apartment, resides in.
Well, that just makes things a lot more prevalent, so might as well I'm serving as escort while I can.
You've definitely seen a number of the Tiger Claws kind of snooping around, kind of doing their sneaky sort of goings on. Lou, since Jessica tends to perform as a joy toy in that area for the most part, she might also have a connection there in that regard. But yeah, aside from that, that's where your connections lie when it comes to the Tiger Claws. As far as direct.
That's fine. Jessica's probably not home yet at this hour.
She should have been home by now.
Or you think she's just home? Okay, cool.
She should have been home. She is not home currently.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Fine. I look at her empty cot and I say, well, I know just the joy toy insider that we need to talk to. Besides, I owe her a sort of therapy session anyway. I pop up the holophone and call Sam.
He's already at work at his mechanics garage. But he does
Why
answer.
would I call Sam? I'm just gonna call Jessica directly.
Yeah, you have her number.
Yeah, I call Jessica directly.
It goes to her voicemail.
Oh, then I call fucking Sam.
Who does answer?
Fine, you get to play Sam today. Just tell us what you want, Coffee. Jesus.
But he does answer. You hear a lot of noise kind of going on in the background, but he answers.
Sam.
Hey.
Hey, Jessica's not home yet. Where does she go right about now?
She's usually home by now. You try calling her?
She went up to, yeah, it went to voicemail, which is a thing we have still for some fucking reason. Does she go out to get drinks with coworkers? Does she have friends?
Not really. Unless she's, entertaining her boss.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we're old friends. Got you. All right, well, I'll look into that.
Usually she gives me a heads up if that's the case, but I didn't get a text or anything.
Okay. Well, give her a call, see if she'll answer for you, and shoot me a text if I can find her somewhere. Please?
Sure.
Thanks, Sam. Hang up.
All right.
I'm wrong.
What's her boss's name?
I didn't give him one.
Hmm.
He didn't become important until now. I don't name
Fine.
NPCs unless they become an important one.
Yeah.
Or unless
I
they
didn't
make you.
ask him for it either.
Mm-mm.
I didn't ask him for we didn't exchange names for obvious reasons
Nope.
when I was hunting fingers. Um, yeah. So yeah. I say. Well, okay. I mean, maybe it's nothing, but Jessica's kind of not where she should be. Maybe we can find her. Maybe she's keeping her boss busy. Maybe I shouldn't show my face on Jig Jig Street where she works. It's led to problems before. Um, her boss kind of has it out for me after what happened to, Fingers.
Lou, who in the city doesn't have it out for you at this rate?
This is a good point. But I don't want to make things more difficult for her. If he came after me, it'd be one thing, but he's just going to take it out of her ass.
I could swing by there, see if I can find her.
Yeah, can we do that?
Yeah.
Then, man,
You two head to Slideye's and I can swing by there, see if I can find her, maybe nab her.
maybe do that. Maybe, how far is the police impound out
That
from
would be
there?
at the NCPD station for that region, I think, and that that happened in Haywood, if I remember correctly. So it would be the precinct for Haywood. So it's not
So
too
you
far
think
from where
that'd
you
be on the
currently are.
way? They'd be on the way, right?
Yeah.
I was hoping so. Slideye, you think you come with me to pick up my car? And by pick up, I do mean steal.
Please don't get the cops on your ass.
No, I'll just bribe them. It's
That's
not
the
a big
last.
deal.
That's the last
I,
thing we need.
I've done it before.
Well, if you two want to do that, I can swing by Jig Jig and meet you guys at Slideye and Rex.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So Lou and Slideye heading over to police impound in Haywood. So how do you plan on getting your car out of impound? Because you do see it. You do see the plates that you had on it.
Yep, stolen plates. Not my plates.
Nope.
That's a problem. If I want to get it out legally.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of office structure is it? Like
It's
more than a guard shack, right?
yeah, it's several stories high. It's a full police precinct. You imagine that there's officers of every kind inside. That
Yes.
there's several officers who would be guarding the impound, obviously armed, and and the impound is gated off with some fairly strong gates, from what you can see.
Anybody manning the gates?
A gate guard.
Okay. Cameras over the gates?
Plenty.
Sure. Cameras. I don't know why I asked these questions.
It's a police impound.
I want the answers. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna pop my collar up higher and sort of walk over there and nod my head and, psst, hey, buddy.
He looks over at you. Yes.
Hey, how you doing?
Just fine.
Nice.
Can I help you, kid?
Yeah, listen, my mom's car's locked up in here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, listen, I took it out for a spin one night, and unfortunately I got involved in a hit and run, and I ran away, and I look, she really needs it back, and I'd really just do anything to get it back.
Okay. Well, which car is it? And did you go to the front desk?
Yeah, I mean, sure, I could go to the front desk. It's just that I don't have my license, and I, I wasn't supposed to have the car, and I look, I'm just trying to get it back to her so she can drive to work and make sure everything's okay for us.
He starts looking around the street, kind of watches each as the pedestrians around you start walking by too. Right.
Look, this would be a lot easier if you and I could just sort of handle things.
Look, kid. I understand your plight. I have walked away with my parents' vehicle in my youth and gotten into a hit and run and didn't want the insurance claim and didn't want my parents to get mad at me, so I ran away too. I have been there. But there is a protocol to getting a car out of impound. If the owner of the vehicle can present the details of their vehicle registration and or licensure or insurance, then yes, they can come pick it up.
I mean, that just sounds like it's going to take a really long time.
Why does your parents have jobs where they work 12 hours a day?
Oh my God, absolutely, yeah. And they're riding the transit right now, so it takes even longer. I had to come down here and do it for them. You understand? I mean, are you sure I couldn't just get it out of here for something like 500 eddies?
Are you trying to bribe a police officer, ma'am?
No, of course not. Not unless you're not going to let me roll it.
Roll a bribery. A kid like you's got 500 eddies.
Not very good.
That's a lot of scratch to have on your person there, kid.
Well, I saved up, and I just want to do right by my ma. Puppy dog eyes. Hands together.
Sure. Which one is it?
I sort of nod in the direction.
You mean that jalopy of a pickup?
Yeah. It ain't much, but it's home.
A very old model Thornton. They don't make them like they used to.
No, but it's really dependable.
Fixed up, it might might get you, pretty solid little payback if you decide to sell.
I mean, I don't know. You find the right guy to sell it, but it's hardly worth 500 eddies itself.
In its current state, yeah. Like we said, little jalopy, chew guzzler.
But yeah, if there was some way you could, help me out with the paperwork, really love to take it out of here today.
What's her name?
Drew?
Drew what? He starts typing something in the computer.
Arnold.
Drew Arnold.
Mm-hmm.
According to the manifest, there is not a vehicle under that name.
No, it's not under my name is the thing.
Well, I looked up last latent name Arnold.
Got you. Yeah. Well, wait, that's my dad's name, so not my mom's.
What would it be under then?
Can I roll something to guess what name I stole the license plates from? I don't know what I look. I don't think I would know. I think I just stole license plates. Fuck.
Well, it's not necessarily the plates. It's the car itself, the onboard computer's
It would be the car
registration.
itself.
Yep.
Yeah.
And given that it's an old model, it's pretty basic registration, so it's pretty basic computer
right.
too.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I say Adalet.
Okay. He starts typing something on the computer. Okay. $750.
Killing me. $600.
Roll me a persuasion. Continues punching something on the computer. You see the gates start to open. And he hands you a key.
And I fish out 600 eddies.
All right. Which he digitally corners into a pocket.
His
digital pocket.
Well, I wondered if digitally would have traces. So that's what
unless you had cash, yeah.
I 100% have cash.
Okay.
If I'm gonna bribe a man.
Yeah. 100%. Okay. So yeah, he takes the wad of 600 eddies into his hand and stuffs it into a pocket. An actual pocket. And hands you the key to your vehicle, as that is the key that came out of it.
Okie dokie.
Don't let me catch you on the street. Hi.
No problem. See you never.
All right. That being done, Lou, you now have your jalopy of a chew-guzzling truck. An old 61 Thornton.
I cross the street and pick up Slideye.
Slideye. There is a truck outside that is...
Your chariot awaits, madam.
You go down to meet her. Slideye.
I am going to go meet her.
Okay. You see Lou's old truck.
Well, look what got out of the impound.
Got ripped off, too. Let's get out of here.
Ripped off? You? Couldn't be.
Watch it.
And
I get to the passenger side, close the door.
Gives a bit of an old slam, like it doesn't close quite right.
Yeah, they don't make them like they used to. So, now that you're reunited with your one true love, where do you go from here?
Only up, babe. And I peel out.
Of course the toddler wants uppies.
It's true. So, Trix, you, my friend, have been doing something else, having your own ride already at your disposal.
Yep.
What are you doing?
Going around Jig Jig and trying to find Jessica.
Okay. Then, let's make some kind of roll for that. Because you've kind of toured this area of the city before. There's plenty of Joy Toys and Joy Toy bars around this place, so finding any which one is perfectly easy. Finding a particular one can be a little tricky if they don't wish to be found. So, how are you going about finding out where she is?
Well, if what I know to be true of her, she'd be out in the street, so just going around and trying to find her face to start.
You do get the occasional Joy Toy on the street who's trying to wave you down to see if you would like to partake in their services. But to find Jessica, let's make that a specific roll. Some kind
This could be another interpretation of streetwise. Or tracking.
Or perception.
I think perception is a good fit here.
Yay, my favorite roll.
Okay. Alright, so with a 15, you kind of meander for a little bit, trying to get your bearings, really. There's plenty of people on this street going in and out of buildings, flagging people down and being flagged down by a lot of different people. You know that Jessica has relatively short cropped hair, and she's relatively young as well. And so eventually you do find her. And have you met Jessica before?
Yeah.
Okay. She didn't recognize you at first, but then she looks you up and down. It's like, oh, okay.
Got a couple people worried about you. Working late.
Yeah, you could say that. I was just about to head home anyway.
Hop on, I'll give you a lift. Oh, it's safe.
People get the wrong idea if you drive away with a joy toy. You know that, right?
Let them think what they want.
Fine. Beats taking the metro.
Besides, you know who's wanting a word with you.
Oh, great. Fantastic.
And as she's waiting for Jessica to get on, she'll send a message to Lou saying, got her.
All right.
See if she wants to come by.
You guys at Slideye's?
Yeah. En route.
Well, they're going to be relatively nearby soon if you want to head over there first.
Sure, I guess.
She'll send a message back saying meet you there. And once Jessica's on, she'll make her way over to Slideye's building.
All right. She climbs on the back of your bike. You drive on over. And Lou and Slideye, you're not too far behind. As it's not terribly far driving. Or a terribly long drive, to be fair. So you all can meet up at a relatively quick pace. The three of you ladies and Jessica.
I wasn't expecting extra guests.
Jessica's just as confused.
Lou said she wanted to talk to Jessica, so I played fetch.
Hey, kid.
Says the one who's younger than me.
Yeah, by a year.
A year and a half, thank you.
4 months.
Before you two start, just know I do not have 2 high chairs at the table.
Ugh. What's up, Lou?
Hey, so, we had a conversation once about, you giving us tips occasionally. And I was wondering if you had anything on the tiger claws recently.
Tiger claws.
Yeah, we're looking for a, how do I put this? Point of ingress.
Point of ingress. Okay. They're everywhere around here. What do you want to know?
Slideye?
Yeah, what's up?
What do we want to know?
Tiger claws are currently here. Yeah, moving a lot of it. We're shifting around a lot, but being very quiet. I want to know what they're up to. What are they trying to collect? What they're able to, what it is that they're here gunning for. More importantly, if Wakako knows.
Yeah, we're hoping to give Trix an avenue to hack into him.
Okay. Hack into them.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to take a little look around.
One does not simply take a little look around into the tiger claws.
Well, I don't worry about that. That's a problem for us.
Until they find out that I'm the one who squawked.
Listen, don't tell us anything that anybody else on Jig Jig Street would know.
So you want to know the sort of everyday information that goes on around here?
Yeah. Sure.
Well,
Something obvious.
I mean, how obvious do you want to be? The slightly less obvious thing is that the tiger claws I heard on the news were involved in an accident involving an AV. You know, when
Biotechnica CEO, actually.
Okay. See, that I didn't know.
Yeah. That's why we're here.
You want to find out if they... on the guy? Is that what you're trying to find out? Is if this guy's dead? Because all the corpses are hush-hush
That
about the accident.
would be helpful. That would be helpful.
Yeah, that's one of the things we want to look into.
We're also looking to get close to Wakako.
I don't have to worry about this one here spilling any of the beans early, right?
Jessica?
I mean, can you really trust a joy toy who listens to a lot of pillow talk?
She's tight-lipped. She won't even share the information with me if she doesn't have to.
I'm not ruining my meal ticket.
And we don't
I'll
want you
keep it
to,
in
Jeff.
mind.
My boss has a couple connections with the Tigers. Nothing direct, but the occasional thing slips.
I'm sure he pays them protection for operating, right?
It doesn't necessarily have to. They're already here. No, he's the one who comes by and if anybody needs protection. He's the one they pay. He's a merc, just like y'all. Just happens to run a side gig that involves being a pimp.
So, Lou, this will be enough for you to end up being able to put the rest of it together? Because once you end up going further than this, you're out of the kiddie pool.
What's it
It's
you're
up to
always
you.
talking about, Lou? Getting into the big leagues? Sam's always the one telling you to be careful. I mean, it would be nice if you didn't, flatline.
But the rent's got to get paid.
Rent's gotta get paid. Either you're paying me or he is.
Okay, so out of character, what's the plan?
Slideye is asking, do you have enough information to go off of it any further than what you laid out?
Yeah, I get that, but like what would that be? Because
Your
I the
brain
person,
blanked, didn't it?
I the person need help putting that together. Lou might have figured out. Hey, Lou's got a decent intelligence score, even post brain injury. But
Hey, we don't make fun of the Dame Bramage, okay?
Nice.
But no, the basic idea is okay. Tiger Claws are being quiet, right?
Yeah.
They're clearly up to something, but we don't know what. Do you have enough information right now between what the Tiger Claws are doing and does Wakako know? These are the two things you absolutely must be assured about. Because before you act on anything else, these two things allow you to end up, or these two bits of information allow you to play the entire board. The reason being is if Wakako doesn't know, then you have leverage on the Tiger Claws, and more importantly, you have your in with Wakako. Right? That's the goal. So you need to in with Wakako. Delivering what the Tiger Claws couldn't, or more importantly, what the Tiger Claws may be trying to hide from Wakako, if they are, is a huge benefit to you. So,
and
in order to do that,
what?
that's what you need to figure out. Because we know they're shifty, but we're not sure what they're dealing with right now. What is going on? Because, and correct me if I'm wrong, Coffee, but I believe at this point we've never had the Tiger Claws actually operating this kind of in secret before. They're usually a pretty rowdy bunch, all things considered.
And if they're getting a little tight-lipped about their operations out in the street having hidden AV from Next Tech Dynamics for all intents and purposes, why are they keeping quiet about it?
Sure. Okay. Right. Okay. So what do I need to do here?
Make a decision one way or another.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we go forward, obviously.
Okay.
This is the way to not just like the path forward to Wakako possibly, but it's also like potentially an answer on Calhoun.
It is. It's true. You can do two birds, one stone.
Yeah, it's kind of the end run to find out, especially since we can't get a hold of him directly. So we'll just find out from the Tiger Claws, the ones who supposedly did the job.
So
we just got to know where to hit him.
So Jessica asked you, so if this is going to get a little risky for me, what do you need to know, and how much are you willing to pay for it? Because I know you're tight on Scratch too.
What I was hoping to trade you conversation for conversation.
We could start there.
And then based on what you need, based on where this information gets us, there's no reason I wouldn't give you the VIG. 10%.
Okay. I mean, that'll hold me over for a couple of nights, I guess. So something that's worth 10% to you. Okay. So while my boss deals primarily with the Joy Toys that really don't have anywhere else to go, he's a little loose-lipped when it comes to his connections. And if he likes you, he tends to be a little looser than others. I tend to be one that he likes. So, his connections with the Tiger Claws are basically merc work, like I said. He does jobs for them. He does a lot of driving, getaway, that sort of thing. If they can't find one of their own, they'll pay him to do it. And even he's a little taken aback as to why it is the gang hid an AV, which is a little out of pocket. Even judging from, where I stand, it's a little out of pocket for them. At least to be so noticeable anyway. Must have hit somebody big. They sent grunts, though. They didn't send anybody important. That much I know. Anybody who's anybody in the Tiger Claws isn't dead.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hitting an
Makes
AV
sense as
like
to why
that
they
would
didn't.
be... Hitting an AV like that is more akin to a suicide mission.
Also makes sense as to why they didn't succeed.
Yeah. But if my boss's theories are correct, he thinks it's a setup. Claws are meant to take a hit for somebody else. Maybe they got paid to do something really ballsy, really stupid. I mean, if the rumors are correct, and this is some kind of big wig from a biotechnica subsidiary, like you said, then, well, those who got taken away in the meat wagons got dealt a raw deal.
Do you have any theories as to who might have hired them?
I mean, there's plenty of rumors of corpos getting in bed with gangs when they don't want their own names written all over something. But that's what he thinks. And based on that, I wouldn't be surprised because he is a fairly intelligent man. if a little rough sometimes.
Okay.
But you didn't hear it from me.
Of course not. You know where the claws usually hang around at mostly? Around here?
I mean, they're kind of everywhere, but as far as an actual hangout, that's a certain headquarters, as it were, I couldn't say. He doesn't have that kind of connection. And his driving jobs for them take him anywhere and everywhere in the city, so I can try and find a pattern though.
Would be appreciated. Because if I'm going to go digging, I need a spot to hook into properly.
And
Otherwise, it'll take forever.
well, if he finds out that I'm snooping around in his hollow for messages, that could end badly. I'm not gonna risk it.
Yeah, don't do that.
Wouldn't want you to. Well, I could try and get close enough to him and see if I can hack into it.
You want to hack him?
Worth a shot.
He doesn't go anywhere without his agent. And if it's
I
not
just need
his
to
burner
range.
agent, it's his hollow.
That's a fun part about net running. I just need to be in range.
I don't know the first thing about hacking.
You've seen what I ride. I can stay in range even if he's on a move.
Well, that requires you getting close, and he comes by at least every other night to come and collect.
What's he look like?
Tall, sort of close cropped hair with a little bit of a fringe in the front. Mustache, goatee, tattoos. Muscular.
Well,
He's always
I
got
might
a
be
sidearm
camping
on. Always got a sidearm on him as well.
The good news is, so do I. But I hope to need it. Was he by tonight?
Yeah, that's just where I just came from.
What are the chances he's still there?
Slim. But also maybe not. Usually after an all-night bender, he sleeps in. I'm usually walking myself out when he's still asleep.
And he was still asleep when you left, wasn't he?
That's as far as I know. I didn't
I'll swing
even
by
actually
there again.
send him a text saying I was leaving.
Wouldn't hurt for me to swing by there again. Check.
If that's what you want to do.
Now, me going back without you might be a little bit more suspicious. Might.
Me also going back there might also be seen as favoritism with the other girls.
Not if I'm just dropping you off where I picked you up at. Or in thereabout.
I mean, if you just want to ride home, I can take care of that.
That too. Point
Wait,
was,
what do you mean ride home?
yeah, she got her truck back.
Not even gonna ask how you did that.
Some
Magic.
things are better. I don't even know how she did it, and I don't want to.
Nope, I don't want to know either. I don't want to be involved.
I palm the key and I do this and it changes hands.
Yeah, magic. Like that. Okay. Well, Lou, we can definitely go back home together.
I'll swing by there again and try my luck. But
Apartment 13.
She's also going to forward Jessica 300.
Oh.
Just say you got paid.
And it was a lovely time.
Do you want to take Slideye with you?
I know, Slideye, you want to go hang around Jig Jig Street with me for a little bit?
Sure not. Why not?
Alright, let's go.
Alright. So Trix and Slideye usher the other two of you out of the apartment. Slideye you lock up, and everyone is going their separate ways for the moment. Trix and Slideye going to see if they can pay a visit to the apartment where the lovely boss of Jessica resides, while Lou and Jessica are going back home. So we'll start with Trix and Slideye. So you have been given the address and the apartment number of the individual whom Jessica has told you is her boss. So, what do you intend to do?
See if there's a way I can hack into his agent without having to fully break into his apartment.
That's a very good question, because that would be... That would be determining whether he is on the network of the apartment complex for the net connection. So you would have to get into the net of the apartment building first before you can determine if his phone's connected.
And I will do that then.
Okay, then let me roll up an architecture for you. Handy dandy apps for that. We love apps for that. Hang on. Okay, let me just roll a new one. Okay, so what you would need to do is to jack in to a net sort of box, you know, the wiring for the architecture, first. So are you planning to do that remotely or with your Duralink?
Let's try it remotely.
Okay. So, the first thing that you must do is to overcome a password. A neg 3 is not gonna do it, my friend.
Every time. Every
You
time.
crit fail on net running so often, my friend.
I do. Oh,
Getting you a new board.
I have a new board. That's the problem.
So, that's a failure.
Yep. Alright, gonna have to go in physically to do it, I guess.
You can try again.
Yep, I'm gonna try again. Because
Okay, that'll get you past the password.
cool. Gonna go moving further.
Okay. So you're just gonna move on to the next room?
Yep.
All right. You run into a wisp program, which deals damage to a netrunner's brain and lowers the amount of total net actions the netrunner can accomplish on their next turn. So,
Yep.
you haven't rezzed any of your defense programs or attack programs at this point yet either.
Not yet.
Yeah, so you walked right into here unprotected, my friend.
Yeah.
So, since your turn was to enter into the room, it's going to take its turn and attack you, which you have to defend, which you don't get any special modifiers because you're not res. You don't have any programs resed.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just rolling.
And it is going to hit, so you take 1d6 brain damage. And your net actions are now reduced to 2 per turn.
Okay.
And the damage is 4.
4.
You got brain blasted a little bit.
Yeesh. I cannot remember. Is Wisp black ice or non-black ice, isn't it?
I think it's a...
Yes, it is.
Okay, yeah, it's black
Okay.
ice.
Yep. Alright, my 2 net actions are going to be to load up armor and load up sword.
Load up armor, load up sword. Okay.
Yep.
That's your 2 res actions for the turn. Your 2 net actions for the turn. It is then going to attack you again. Ooh, that's a low roll. So hit your defense.
Yep.
Ooh, ouch. That is a 1. So it still lands an attack on you with a 6. Also, I'm rolling
Hi,
some
my
of these,
dice don't like me.
I'm rolling some of these things on my app so that everybody in the audience
Yeah, no, I
knows.
figured.
Yeah. 5 damage.
Reduced by 4.
Yep. Because you've got your armor up.
Yep. Okay.
All right, your turn.
Going to swing at it. So
Gonna
if
swing
I
at it with a
remember-
sword.
If I remember, that's adding that plus. Yeah. Okay.
Ooh, ouchie in my program. Okay, so you handedly score your attack, because it crit failed at its defense.
Nice. Alright. That is going to be 3d6 damage.
3d6 damage. Ooh, that nearly causes it to de-res, but not quite.
Okay, good thing I have another move. I am going to swing at it again.
Okay.
Might as well just get rid of it.
Ooh, ouch. I double tenned. So for a 22, so you miss on the
Sorry.
second one. I crit fail and then I crit succeed. It's wild. It's wild how...
There is no in-between in us doing this.
No.
We should have known this by now.
No, yes, of course. This is net running 101.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that's your turn. So that comes back to its turn. It's gonna attack you again. Ooh, you successfully stave off that attack.
Yay. And I'm going to immediately swing on it again.
Okay.
There we go.
Ooh. Okay, so you crit succeeded on a 21. It crit succeeded on a 19, so you still win. Okay. That wisp is donezo.
Well, maybe I'll learn my lesson next time. Now, is there anything on this floor of interest, or can I just move on?
No, there's nothing of real interest as of right now. In fact, you could even do a ping out to the rest of the rest of the network to see how much is left.
I think I'll do that.
Okay, so that would be a DV, I believe, 8 interface check. Okay. Besides the floor that you're on, there are 3 more, and then after that is the control node, which you can then, at that point, determine what devices are connected to the network.
Cool. Definitely going to move to the next floor then.
Next floor is another black ice. It's a scorpion.
I'd like to try and slide by it.
Okay, you'd like to slide by it and that's you're no longer affected by the wisps. The wisp. So to slide by, you need to evade its perception.
Yep. And I am pouring 3 luck into this roll.
Okay.
I do not want to fuck with the scorpion.
Okay, you successfully slide by.
On to the next floor I go.
The next floor you open up is a raven. D-Res is a single defender program the enemy netrunner has rezzed at random, then deals 1d6 direct damage to the brain. Okay, so on its turn, that's what it'll do.
Okay. Like to slide by it if I can.
Slide by. All right. Versus perception. Ooh, a 13 beats a 12.
Whew, just barely.
You can move on to the next
Getting
floor if you
better.
like.
Definitely going straight to the next floor.
Next floor, you see a program called a Hellhound.
Ooh. Hellhounds are fun.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to mess with it, but it's fun. You want to slide by it too.
Okay. And you crit win. Because it rolled a 13.
My dice are finally liking me.
All of these programs essentially don't know that you're there.
The first one did. Look what happened to it.
Yep. The rest don't know that you're a thing that's in the system. So sliding by it to the next floor is a control node.
From there, she's...
So to get into the control node, you do have to interface into it. So roll me an interface. Yep. Okay. It was a DV6, so it's not hard. So
just barely.
So, at this control node, you have full control of the network at the moment, which means you can see all devices connected. You can pick up on some data, anything that you as a netrunner would like to do with your lovely cyberdeck. The device of interest would be in... So the terminal devices are all kind of listed by apartment number. So they're the computer that's kind of plugged into the network as of right now in apartment 13 is online. And as far as, you can ping out and look at, kind of get an idea of the location. And there are a couple of other devices that are connected to that part of the network as well. And you imagine that two of those devices would be his phones, more than one.
Yep. I can try and hack in some from here.
Okay.
They're connected.
So that is going to be a relatively small network on its own. So that's going to be hacking a password.
Eh, 14.
Okay, so that'll pass. He does have some protection on that device, though. I'm going to say in the form of a scorpion.
Another scorpion. Alright. Same process. Slide by it.
Okay. And that's an 11.
Yep.
And it rolled a 4, so you slide right on by.
Nice.
But since this is a burner phone, it is relatively easy to crack, so you just need to crack its control.
And here's the...
Ooh, that's a crit. Alright. So, with this particular phone, There is a number of contacts. There's a number of messages. There is a number of different things. It's just chock full of a bunch of information, but all of which have no names and just the phone numbers of individuals.
What do the messages look like? What are some of them saying?
Opening up the most recent was a text message with another doll to arrange for pickup of funds.
Okay.
And the person you're not sure who it is entirely, the way that their message is framed kind of makes it seem, well, this is an inconvenient time.
What is an inconvenient time? But do a lot of the messages just kind of look like they're going back and forth between the dolls and him?
Primarily, you don't really have a whole lot of time to fish through them, as you suspect that you might run into some issues if you stay here too long.
Yeah. Okay, might as well try to get into his main phone, see if there's any information there then.
Okay. So you back out and get into... Now, the main phone is what you imagine is hollow, which is him directly connected to the network.
Yeah.
And might have more protection than his burner.
Yep. Gonna take a shot at it and... hopefully figure it out.
Okay. So the first set of black ice... Well, first it's a password to get through even into his hollow.
Don't think that's gonna do it.
7 will get through a password.
Ah, okay.
So then when you move on to the next set of protections on his phone, you run into a hellhound right away.
Repeat the process, or try and slide by it.
Okay. That is not gonna do it, because it rolled a 13.
Oof. Okay, this is gonna be fun.
So this is your turn, so you have 2 more net actions. It knows you're there, though.
Yep, so sliding by is not gonna be a thing this turn, at least.
Sliding by it might prompt it to follow you.
Take a swing at it. It's not gonna help matters anyway. I'm just gonna back out.
You're gonna jack completely out?
Yep.
Okay.
Because it's either gonna follow me or I'm gonna swing and he's gonna realize someone's there. The whole entire idea is not to get caught.
And since this hellhound is on his phone, it can only follow you on his phone, so it does try to take a swing at you as you're trying to escape.
Okay. Roll the defense for that.
Yep. Is that 11?
Yep.
Okay, and it rolled an 8, so it doesn't land a hit on you. So you're able to successfully back out of his phone. Now, going back through the network that you had slid past all of the previous, all of the the previous black eyes for the network, are you just jacking straight out, like completely?
Yeah, jacking straight out completely.
Okay. Because those programs weren't aware that you were there, so I think you can get out of there without any issue.
Yeah. Should be able to.
Yeah. So you jack completely out.
Well, no information there. Jessica said it was a long shot, so I have to take a look around the area and see if we can pinpoint where they're hanging out at. Go from there.
Okay. So, having gone through that, Trix, you feel it a little bit in your head, the damage taken to your brain directly. So, Slideye, were you doing anything in the meantime?
Keeping watch more than anything. Let's be real, it's near Jig Street. And that means a lot of sketchy individuals, including Tiger Claws, might be in the area. And wow, she's lost tinkering with a whole bunch of code, and probably dealing with whatever the hell their system is currently infested with. Somebody's got to keep an eye out for her to make sure that nobody decides to walk off with her wallet, or more than likely on Jig Street, her. Let's just acknowledge the neighborhood we're in.
Exactly. Go ahead and make a perception roll. She's eyeballs deep in code, and you are eyeballs deep on street.
Oh yeah, just make a perception check. No big deal. It's not like it's dice or anything, Derek. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. You just need to... it's all good, you know? You can end up just making a quick roll, you know? It's found in awareness. You can end up making it... You have a huge jump to it.
Ooh. 19's nice. So this particular apartment building isn't anything to write home about. It's very much the usual fare, where it's a little bit run down, where it's kind of not well kept. It's, you know, it's got its fair share of, you know, all kinds of people who live here. Some of them are hanging out in the hallways, some of which are walking from their apartments to wherever else they're going. But you don't really spot anyone of interest. There's a couple of people who give you and Trix a very odd look, as it looks like she's staring at a wall and you're kind of watching the rest of the building. But it's Night City. Staring at a wall is not unheard of. So, Trix, you slide out of the network with relative ease, and maybe you got a little bit of a splitting headache at the moment, but otherwise not worse.
Well, other than a headache, I didn't get much. You want to take a look around, see if we can see any of them hanging out? Do this the old-fashioned way?
Well, you find out anything, yeah, useful at the very least?
Not really. Seems like a very boring guy.
So, we're either barking up the wrong tree or they're really good at covering up their tracks. Let's flip that coin. Lead the play.
See if we can start spotting the claws. Hunting a tiger in its natural habitat.
All right. I am going to use my solo ability for a bonus on perception.
Okay.
Keep an eye out.
So you're taking another look around where you're like differently.
Well,
How-
now we're actively tracking, right? Beforehand, I was looking out to end up seeing any interception I needed to end
Any
up doing,
threats, yeah.
specifically to end up keeping Trix safe. That is no longer the case. Now we're trying to actively track Tiger Claws, and since we're Jig Jig Street, not hard to find, but we're trying to figure out what the hell they might be up to. If there's not a whole lot of them on Jig Jig Street, then that would imply that they're elsewhere. Obviously, it also implies that some of them are doing something tonight. And if Wakako's certainly, if there's rumors of Wakako not being around, well, then we can probably surmise there's a good chance for her involvement. Not a guarantee, but it would definitely line up.
Okay.
I'm trying to, and since I can't figure out what the hell's going on, I gotta rely on Loup and Trix for that. So Trix says, we're tracking tigers. We're tracking tigers.
Okay. Then, if you both would like, you can both make perception checks. Ooh. Trix,
Figures.
a
It's a
crit,
non-net running roll.
a crit on a 21, and Slideye with a 19 again. So you're actively starting to walk around the building where this particular individual, this boss of Jessica's, resides. You start to circle, you start to go into the building and start scoping things out. And from what you can tell, there are some fairly obvious markers of the tiger claws that are kind of hanging out at the entrance of the building. You know, seem to be talking amongst themselves, but maybe you're just keeping an eye out as well, and keeping an eye out for anyone who might be of any kind of suspicious look. You see that there's like 3 of them, and they kind of give you, the 2 of you, eyes as you start walking into the building, but don't really flag you down. Otherwise, on this particular floor, you see a number of civilians, some of which look like they're on rough times, and others of which who are kind of walking in and out of the building. You do see another couple of tigers that are kind of look like they're blocking off the elevator. Or at least standing imposingly in front of the elevator. That's what you see so far.
Trix is going to see if she can get on the elevator.
Yeah.
Or if they stop her.
You hear one of them say to you in Japanese, "Hey there."
Gonna give them a wave.
Now, do you understand Japanese?
No. But she can assume it's some kind of greeting. That's why she's not vocally responding.
Slideye, do you understand Japanese? Slideye? Yes? No?
I will definitely be following, but it would
That's
seem that
not what I
Trix has...
asked.
Oh.
I asked you, do you understand Japanese?
Oh, do I understand Japanese?
Yes. I asked Trix, and then I asked you.
Oh, okay. Actually, I think we have... I'm actually double checking. I want to find on the character sheets. I believe they have languages. I know I did that.
Be education.
Education. Okay, thank you. Uh, no. I thought it would have been something I put in, but no.
Okay.
We're reliant entirely on the translators we end up having.
And so since you're just kind of waving and you've called the elevator, the other one says in English, "Where are you going?"
Visit a friend on the second floor.
Oh, who's your friend? I know everyone in this building.
Work friend. Don't really have their real name. Problem?
I don't know. Is it a problem?
Not a problem with me. Asking you because you're the one asking me.
If you don't cause trouble, then we don't have a problem.
Don't see why I'd be causing trouble.
Just never seen you around here before. I know everybody in the building.
Yeah, well, I'm getting paid for something, so
Ooh.
probably won't be here long.
Here to collect.
Yeah, he wanted to pay in cash, so. However, refuses to leave the fucking apartment.
Recluses.
Right? You should really get out and wander the streets now and then.
The streets are dangerous, but so is staying home.
The whole goddamn city's dangerous.
And
How about you? You live here?
it's about that time that the elevator door does open, though.
She'll step on.
Okay. You and Slideye slip into the elevator. And where are you headed?
Second floor. Gotta keep with the lie.
Okay. Second floor it is.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Well, could see if any of them are about to leave. Follow them that way, though. Granted, we'll have to take the stairs on probably the other side of the building to get back down.
Alright. So what's your next move, Trix?
We're gonna hang on the second floor for a little bit. Take the other staircase down and see if any of the claws are leaving so we can maybe trail behind them a little bit.
Okay. So you're intending to track them while they leave?
Yep.
Well, what do you know? There's maybe a slight rotation. There's somebody leaving, somebody coming in as time goes on. After about half an hour or so that you've been hanging out around here, and you start to follow them.
Hopefully they'll lead us to their headquarters.
Which I
Hopefully.
think is also a good time for us to take a quick break. So we'll be right back, everybody. So we'll be back soon. Welcome back, everyone, to Night City Stargazers, Session 17. As Trix and Slideye are making their way outside the apartment building of the boss Jessica finds herself employed by, Loup is taking Jessica home in their old jalopy of a truck. Jessica, sitting in the passenger seat, is a little anxious when you drive sometimes, but you're otherwise very careful. She may even think that you do it on purpose sometimes, but with that being said, you wanted to have a chat.
So Jessica, how's work been?
Fine enough. What about you?
Good. Yeah.
Being a merc is dangerous.
I mean, not always.
I mean, isn't that why they pay you the big bucks? Is that it's dangerous work and nobody else really would want to do it?
I mean, that's the reputation, but I mean, sometimes you just stand around. Look spooky.
Standing around and look spooky is a lot of Night City.
Must be a lot of mercs in Night City.
Well, if you're not employed by the Corp or by one of the subsidiary stores of the Corps, or if you're, you know, there's no such thing as really mom and pop shops here. And those that do
Yeah,
only
you
last a couple years.
gotta make ends meet where you can.
Yeah. I mean, look at all the food stalls around. I mean, plenty of people want to buy dinner, and plenty of people don't want to cook at home. So, what's a noodle box to anybody?
Sure. Is that what you feel like you're doing?
What, running a noodle cart?
Yes.
I mean, I have an employer, I guess. And he only takes 70% of my cut.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, there's some girls who have to pay their employers 100%. I mean, I think I'm getting off easy.
Oh, okay. Good, then. I'm glad he's decent some of the times. Bless you.
Pardon me.
Bless you. Tissue in the glove box.
She reaches for it and starts wiping her nose. Uh, why do you ask?
Well, I mean, it's I want to understand better.
Okay.
You know, if I want to help make things better in some ways, then I shouldn't be doing it as an outsider. And short of getting the experience doing the work myself, you're the next best thing.
No. You are too young.
I would bite it off if I'm being honest. Off.
I'm
All the way off.
That's okay. Well,
Not suited for that work is the point that
right.
I was making.
Yeah.
The point is you,
Exactly.
Jessica, you are suited for the work for whatever that means. And I was hoping you would, I don't know, confide in me.
Uh, did something happen? Like, you're usually a little more, I don't know, like, this is a little odd. Not unwelcome, just odd. You're usually kind of the piss off Jessica sort of type. I mean, it's nice,
Oh.
don't get me wrong. I mean, I
Look,
mean,
I've given you a hard time before, but that doesn't mean I didn't care about you. It was probably because I cared about you. But the truth is that I didn't accept what you did, and that's not right. What's the difference between the corner that you stand on and the corner that I stand on at the end of the day? Besides the fact that I get a much better profit margin, but that's not the point of this conversation.
well, and for and as far as I'm concerned, it's relatively easy work. It's not like it's terribly hard. Just do the right thing in the right moments, and people are fine and happy to pay you the 1,000 eddies. That
You don't feel like you have to do 20 different jobs? Psychiatrist, mother,
occasionally, if they're getting a little talkative.
server, personal, a personal whatever.
I mean, it would be nice to get somebody who would, have me on I don't know, a retainer, I guess. But I doubt that that's ever going to happen. I'm not. I'm not pretty enough, and I'm. And I'm, kind of low level on the street, sort of. I'm not the kind of joy toy that you'd find at some, like, escort club. I'm ordinary.
Well, maybe you're just lacking the right connections.
I mean, that's half the business, right? When it comes to that, any kind of business really is not about what you know, it's who you know. I mean, I could be damn well good at my job, but if I don't know the right people, I won't get anywhere. I'll just be sitting on the corner in Chick Street, which isn't where I want to end up ultimately. I had thought about being a dancer, But
Did you ever try?
didn't have parents who could afford classes. I guess I'm in the same boat as most everybody in the mega building, as we don't have parents.
Yeah.
Kind of was fending for myself, living on the street, till Sam came along. And, through him, I met you, and we became fast roommates. Because I had nowhere else to go.
That's not the only reason.
Well, I mean, Sam's a big plus. He's kind and... I don't know. He doesn't judge me for doing what I have to. It's like any other job. At least any other paid in cash sort of job. Like merc work.
Any other job on the black market?
I mean, not like... It's not like it's illegal. It's just... What are you looking for? Are you looking for the kinds of girls you find on the street corner, or are you looking for the girls who would be 20,000 eddies for a night of their company?
Yeah, and who do you call for protection when you need help? It's not the cops.
You call the boss.
Black market job means black market security.
Yeah.
Ends justify the means. God, I sound like Slideye.
She's pretty, but she's spooky.
That's putting it mildly.
She would absolutely go far in the spotlight, I think.
You don't know the half of it.
Like, the kinds of fashion wear that she has is just... Where in the world did she get the cash to get that? So, what do you want to know next? Are you doing okay?
Oh, fine.
Sure.
We're in a little over our heads right now with everything, but it's nothing more than we're used to.
I mean, wanting to find out what the tiger claws are all of their business, and trying not to draw attention to yourself. Well, that's a little in over your head. I think that's maybe putting it a little mildly.
You don't know the half of it. But thanks for saying so. Look, I gotta run. I gotta go catch up with those two before they get into trouble.
Are they prone to getting in trouble? I know
They don't
you
speak
are.
Japanese, so I don't know who's translating for them if they do.
Yeah, some of the claws primarily speak Japanese. Something like
And
that.
if they have to negotiate or question anybody or honestly just the talking at all, I'm just worried about them talking to anybody and how that could go. I know it's not always pretty what comes out of my mouth, but it's effective.
And and yeah, I've seen the ports in Trix's head. She's a computer nerd. Only computer nerds get those kinds of implants.
Hmm.
The kinds who want to swim in the nets. Or whatever they call. Or whatever they do. Seems like a scary thing.
It's all beeps and boops to me if I'm being honest.
And I don't want to be turned into beeps and boops. No thanks. I've heard the horror stories. You know, I appreciate everything you do, Lou. You're a good sister to Sam. Even if it's, not, blood sister, but it's essentially the same thing. And you're a good roommate. You're a good friend. As much shit as I give you for being nosy in my business, it's because you care. And I just don't want you to get hurt because of me, right?
Don't worry. I'm on the side of the angels.
Angels.
Never mind.
You're weird and cryptic sometimes, and it's just you. You're just weird and cryptic. But, I'm gonna go. Because I'm exhausted. And I'm going to sleep probably for 24 hours.
I recommend it.
Long night was long. Don't die.
See you, Jessica.
And she gets out of the truck and starts to head towards the elevator to go up to the 18th floor where your apartment resides. Leaving you.
Yeah. I back out. Send a hollow to Trix, Slideye, both. How's it going? Where you at? How we doing? Where can I catch up with you? Are you a tiger claw stain on the ground right now?
And Trix would respond with their current location and whatever direction they're moving in.
Okay. Fantastic. So you all will have a chance to meet up in order to tail the tiger claws that you have been tracking. They occasionally stop, go into a place, come out of a place, keep going, go into another place. They do this for a couple of stops, none of which really look like a headquarters per se.
Well, it wouldn't necessarily have bright flashing lights in front of it, but
No, but it looks like they're kind of like making rounds. Or stopping for dinner. You're not entirely sure which when they walk into a restaurant.
keep an eye on them.
And you...
After all, we've gotten this far.
Okay. And you said this is with the aim of finding out more about what it is that they're hiding, right? The something that you can take back to Wakako.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do any of you have enhanced hearing?
No, unfortunately. Not a mod I've managed to afford just yet.
Okay.
No, not yet.
Okay. With Lou having cyber eyes, she's probably the only one who would be able to see anything from a
I
distance.
could always do like lip read.
Yeah, because lip read is a skill, I believe, that you...
Yes, it is.
Would have.
And I have enhanced vision as well.
Yes. So you can see them from further away than your companions. If Trix and Slideye wanted to do some lip reading, they would have to get relatively close in order to do so. But Lou, you have the unique ability to zoom with your cybernetic eyes. So I would say, yeah, go ahead and make a lip reading roll.
Okay, let me throw another 2 luck on this.
Okay. Okay, so that turns that into a 13. Okay. And you're looking for moments when they're being particularly hushed as well. So when they're kind of leaning into each other to divulge things that would otherwise be whispered to one another, and you can read their lips from a distance. One of which, when you kind of look towards them, you read from their lips a mention of an Arasaka fixer. Paid big money. And this is over the course of like several individuals that you kind of string this information about, that you start to come to the conclusion that somebody paid big money to have the claws go after that AB. And putting 2 and 2 together, you did get paid for information about that AB.
I mean, yeah.
So you have an idea of who might have done it.
So I message across that it looks like Slideye's hunch was right. Arasaka went straight to the Tiger Claws. Die Hard hired them to attack Calhoun's AV. Now, can we substantiate this to whatever her name is?
Wakako.
Wakako, thank you.
You're muted, Raven.
Sorry, I was talking to people behind me.
Oh, sorry. Thought you were talking to us. My bad.
Nope, you're fine.
Usually I'm the one who's guilty of that.
To be fair, it's volume control. So.
I see. But yes, that's the information you have at hand now. Now, substantiating it. That's the question that Loup posed.
We need names. She messages. Or else the information isn't useful to her.
Well, we need something other than our word at the very least.
Yeah, somebody she could put the screws to find out that we're right.
Have these guys been using their names at all?
Each other's.
These guys know something. We have their names via Loup.
Mm-hmm. It's not
We
like
could theoretically hand these names over.
Yeah, and I apologize. I don't have names for them. They're not terribly important unless you plan on pursuing them further.
We don't have to name them. It's not that important. No, it's just that we have their names and we can take their names to Wakako.
Yep. That's certainly something you can do. So what's the next step?
Do we want to go straight to Wakako with it, or do we want to try and find other means of proof? I suppose is a good question.
It tastes like weak tea to me.
Is there any way I can get a better handle on what it is?
What do you mean? What it is?
Sorry, I'm just trying to think aloud here. Because it's not enough to bring to Wakako. And it's not doing so in such a way that puts us in a better light than the Tiger Claws, which is ultimately the plan, right? The whole idea is find it out, get the job disrupted, come in, save the day, make it look like we're here, we're in the right place at the right time. Wakako here, if have something to offer Wakako that is worthy of us gaining an audience and be in her good graces as opposed to what we ended up doing last time. So right now we really don't have all that much to go on. Like unless I'm misreading the situation, there's really not enough here to really bring in.
Now feels like tattletaling.
Yeah.
At best.
Yeah, at best, that's where we're at.
I don't mean to make this especially difficult, but
no. It's all good. It's not on you. It's for us to end up seeing. Can we end up moving the pieces?
Yeah.
And I'm
It's
trying
just the environment. It's not your fault.
Yeah. More importantly,
there's got to be something that we can pull from this.
Yeah.
I mean, let's think about how it is that you got to this point, right? The Tiger Claws went to attack the AV based on information that was provided to Arasaka, not to them.
By us.
By you.
Yeah. They didn't get it from Wakako. They got it from Arasaka.
Yep.
I mean, we knew that from the first bit, right? But now we have the proof.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But you're also implicated because you sold that information to Arasaka.
Yeah.
So we can't necessarily use that portion as further proof.
It's the trickiness of being involved in multiple angles of this particular event.
Exactly. We have to come out looking clean.
Yeah.
So how do you do that?
Can we tip off Tiger Claws Can we pose as information brokers from Arasaka to Tiger Claw members? Finish the job on Calhoun. He's going to be here. Idea lost steam halfway through. Sorry. Sorry, it started boiling, but then it lost steam right away. Damn it.
Yeah, because everything that y'all got about Calhoun was about his routes and everything, which he provided to you.
Yeah, but like we know enough about Calhoun to fabricate evidence.
What's to say he didn't fabricate this all himself too?
Sure, yeah. Could we set the Tiger Claws up to fail a hit on Calhoun again? Because he's not, I mean, he wouldn't be there. Gosh. and then
that
tip
would
off
require
the.
confirmation whether he's currently alive or dead.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they would know. They would have that confirmation.
They would, yeah, they would know. You would think that somebody from the Tiger Claws might know.
And betting on the side that the Tiger Claws failed, we would find out for sure, right?
For sure.
So we approach the Tiger Claws. We set them up as though we're Arasaka. We know the fixer, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to name him, but we do. We are brokering information, and in the next location for Calhoun, we also tip off the police who are looking to sweep them up for this.
And among other things, of course, but yes.
Yeah. Bing, bang, boom. This whole organization's out of order, and we know why. Now there's multiple problems firing off, and Wakako will want to know why. It's not a one-off. It's a rolling problem now.
Mm.
So here's the question.
Yeah.
Can you spin it?
With 2 luck left.
How good are you, Lulu?
Let me just check my
Check your character sheet just to check.
check my stock of smash. I've got 1 smash left. I'm willing to ride it.
Your call. Your gig.
Yeah. I mean,
You're the fixer.
is there another angle, or are we at a brick wall? Is the problem?
This is a puzzle you've created for yourself, so you tell me.
I know, it sucks. That's the
I
part that
barely
sucks
had to
about
do
it.
anything about this here. You've created your own pickle.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of feel like this is a really. I feel like this is a pretty good way to go about it. So tipping off the cops, that's a freebie. Packaging information, that's a freebie. Selling it to the Tiger Claws as if I'm an Arasaka agent. I mean, how hard could that be? I can do that.
Okay. So, this is something that you'll probably be putting together for a couple of days.
Yeah, sure.
In making sure that it is solid. So we don't really have to go through all of the minutia regarding it. So what I'm going to say is that in order for this information to be passed off as genuine, I'm going to ask that Trix be the one to ensure that it is going to be passable for authentic information from Arasaka. And that is going to be, let me pull up I'm going to say that's going to be an electronics / security tech role. Or forgery.
Fuck. I can do forgery. Can I help?
My electronics and security tech is higher than my forgery, so I'd like to go off that one.
Okay.
There you go.
Because that one's 12 versus 6 for forgery.
Okay. Yeah. Then do it on electronics tech, and that's going to mean that it flavors it in a way that it is
There it goes.
it is authenticated based on the like what you can electronically forge about it. Not necessarily that the information is correct or incorrect, because that would be more of a forgery roll. This is more,
Yeah.
you have written where this information came from, that it seems authentic. It may be true, it may be false. You don't know 100% for sure.
That's a 20.
But that is a 20. That is a decent roll. Okay. So Lou, you are going to be the final roll of this little puzzle here. For Slideye's portion, for Slideye, let's see, what would your role be in this particular little endeavor here? Because I kind of want to include all three of you to do a roll, to just to see how well you can put this together. So, so how do you think Slideye would be involved in making sure that this goes without a hitch?
Really good question. So Slideye has one advantage that's jumping out at me right now, and that is that she lives in Jig Street.
She does.
Living in the territory. She knows the ups and downs of this particular location as well as she can anyway. So
that sounds like a local expert role to me.
That might be. So what is that? That's social?
Social, or it's
Nope.
It's education.
Okay.
Education at the bottom.
Education.
Local expert, your home.
Local expert. I do not have a local expert, actually.
You should.
You should.
Education.
Because you get that by default.
Library research tacticians, wilderness. It's under education, right?
Yeah, it's further down.
You have to add it in. It's a custom.
Oh, it's a custom. Local expert. No, I have not.
Because you get that automatically.
I have no. Let's see.
So yours would be Jig Street. Like mine is Haywood, for example.
Right.
Yeah.
It should start at level 4.
Okay.
I know your native
your
language starts at 4, but yeah.
Yeah. It's the same as languages.
Okay. So yeah, then it would be level 4 plus your intelligence plus D10.
Okay. All right, so I missed putting in languages and all that. So yeah, that was my bad. Let's close that. And I am going to add 2 luck to this.
Okay. So yeah, it would be 1d10 plus intelligence plus 4 plus your luck.
17 total.
Ooh, 17 total.
I'm actually pretty good rolls tonight.
Hey, let's go.
Okay. Not mission critical, pretty good rolls, so it's a good start.
Okay, then Slideye, I think the way that this happens is that you provide enough convincing information about the area of Jig Street and about the individuals from the Tiger Claws that roam around, that you have gotten some of this information from, to authenticate how Trix's shard is getting put together. Hers is going to be the electronic side, yours is the information side, so that it all seems authentic. And that it is exactly to your design, exactly how it is that you want to lay it out. So Lou, yours is the final piece in this, where yours is going to be a social role of some kind. Now, how do you want to spin this? Because the information that you got is is authentic information from Jig Street. The shard itself and the electronic components are going to be presented as authentic. So how are you going to spin this whole thing that it works out in your favor?
Do you mean how am I going to
Like what role
like hand
socially?
it over?
What role socially are you going to use to
Yeah,
convince
I'm
how this goes?
I'm working on that, but I'm like I mean like how do you mean like what is the vehicle by which I'm going to give them the information?
Because
Is that what we're talking about? That like is that the action that we're talking about?
right, that you have a shard in hand with
Yeah, yeah,
information.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, if I'm delivering this, then I feel like this is a persuasion role.
Okay.
I'm persuading them to believe that I am who I say I am, right?
Okay. And this is, and remind me again, this is being presented to Wakako directly?
Um,
Your play,
well,
Lulu.
okay. This is a second hit. Oh, okay. That's a better option. Huh. Hmm. And then walk this straight into Wakako. But then I wouldn't be representing myself as Arasaka. She already knows who I am. I can't do that.
Oh,
Um,
this is the information that you're presenting to the Tiger Claws then.
that was the plan.
Right. I'm just making sure that I
I
have
don't
it all
hate what
straight.
you're suggesting. I don't hate what you're suggesting though.
I'm
Um,
just making sure that
because we
I have
have
it
this.
straight because I don't understand necessarily what you're trying to do in this moment.
No. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. Because I'm not having second thoughts. Um,
Okay.
that's another option. Let me weigh it. Because on one hand we have set them up for failure, sell it to some tiger claws. I feel like that's an easy roll. Because they're stupid assholes.
Hmm.
Um,
Bunch of gangsters, yes.
and then we've got like a rolling problem that we'll take to Wakako and say, Wakako, I've noticed you have a huge fucking issue. I thought that I'd explain to you why and hope that you're not mad at me about it. Um, uh, on account of we've plugged your leak for you. We've plugged your leak for you? Maybe that's the thing. Um, A or B, what you've just suggested as an option, which is take that shard
Mm.
straight to Wakako and say, okay, hey, you got a problem. It is a rolling issue, and it's going to get a lot of your guys fucking destroyed. Um, I don't know why they're just working straight for Arasaka without your know-how. That's kind of a problem, right? Is there anything we can do to help you? Because I feel like that's a lot cleaner. And I don't have to lie as much. But it is to Wakako, so it's tougher. So I feel like dealing with Wakako is going to be not. I guess it'd be like a straight persuasion, but I feel like the persuasion in this case is like hello, miss, I have a PowerPoint for you on some shit that's been going on in case you were curious. As opposed to the persuasion for the tiger claws, which is like a deception roll, more like, right?
Mm-mm. Okay.
Um, dang. Um, hmm.
Does anyone else want to weigh in on helping Lou?
No, I
I've
am
taken
leaving
all
this in Lulu's
suggestions.
hands.
Yeah, I know you are.
No pressure.
I knew you'd
Imagine
say
how.
that.
Look, Derek is usually the one doing these kinds of plays. So him letting
Uh-huh.
his hands off the reins and letting you do what you're gonna do. He's trusting you.
No, it's so good. I'm so in. I'm so in. I'm so good.
No pressure.
I'm
You
so
got
good for
this.
this. No pressure. No pressure.
Mhm.
Let me think. What I'm really doing is I'm looking at my drugs to see if any of them make me cooler. They don't. Go figure.
No. At
No,
least not.
no drugs make you cooler, kids. Unless you let me use the I've seen like tobacco give you a temporary bonus to cool.
Cigarettes can be found anywhere, so.
Yeah, I mean if you'll let me smoke if you'll let me smoke cigarettes and add one to cool, I'd love to do that.
At the cost of €5.
Absolutely. So I have to walk in smoking. Because clearly you can't just smell like cigarettes. You have to be actively smoking
Yeah.
to get the bonus, right?
Right.
Obviously. Okay, so 12.98. Pack of cigarettes. Just add that in real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You want to give me a number for the pack?
For how many's in the pack?
I mean, I know it's 20 for our day, but I don't think they come 20 to a pack in this shitty reality.
I'm gonna say there's 10.
Fantastic. Okay. +1 cool. Gosh, I don't know what else it did. Let me look it up real quick. Okay. Let's see. That's Biotechnica flavored hashish. Oh, here we go. This is what I was talking about. Here we go. Plus cool for duration 10 minutes. Great.
Okay, fantastic.
Done and done.
So you're going in front of Wakako. That's the route you're going.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So go ahead and make your roll.
Uh-huh. Let me finish a smash real quick. Add that to everything.
Okay.
Not everything. I'll just add it to persuasion because that's what I'm gonna roll.
Yeah.
It's gonna go on other stuff too, but I'll just do that real quick. Adding my last 2 luck and rolling.
Okay. All right, brings it to a 21. Feel pretty confident about your presentation. She takes in the information that you've presented and the
Oh, I didn't add the. Never mind. Carry on.
and kind of sits and contemplates for a moment. So, this is interesting information. And you, child, you're thorough.
Yes, ma'am.
Very, very thorough indeed. And Slideye and Trix, are you in the room as well, or no?
It depends entirely on the Loop.
Yep. If Lou wants us there.
I see no reason why not.
Okay.
No?
Very interesting. Very interesting information that you have brought me, young lady. So, I'm guessing there is something that you wish to get out of this. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was looking at my answer in Japanese. Yeah, I mean, I can't find it quickly enough to say it
That's fine.
suitably, but in Japanese, I say, only to be of service to the great Wakako.
She kind of cracks a small smile. You do not need to flatter me. This does not necessarily erase the blunder at the night markets that you had created a very awkward situation in that moment, especially with one of your own. She looks over to you, Slideye. I hope you're doing better, dear. Quite embarrassing. However, I am interested in getting to the bottom of this myself. So thank you very much for bringing it to my attention. Now, it was my husband who had stronger ties with the Tiger Claws than I did in all of my time, but I suppose that my sway with them will come in handy when I ask questions. Arasaka. Well, again, how could I be of benefit to you for bringing me this information? As a thank you for this one time.
A greater value to us than any simple reward money would be an opportunity.
An opportunity. What kind of opportunity are you looking for? Edge runner would kite?
But of course,
Well, it just so happens that there is something I may need to have those of your particular sway and talents to address. It seems that here in Japantown we are not without our own issues with cyber psychos. And one is suspected to be running around on the verge, as it were, in the area. And so, if you would kindly take care of the issue. The woman is of nomad origin, which I think is going to be of interest to you, Trix.
Most certainly is.
I would like it
Shouldn't be too
handled
hard to find
quickly.
we'd rather not see innocent people get hurt.
Yes. And this particular individual has been causing a bit of a nuisance in the edges of town for the most part, but is starting to get a little antsy. Thought maybe traditional therapies and things of that sort would be of use to this particular person, but they've stopped taking their meds. At least, that's what I was told.
Find the girl. It's nomad. Handle the situation before it gets more unwanted attention. That about the size of it?
You understand perfectly, then.
Forward the deets.
40% cut.
I look to Lulu.
So does Trix.
$60.
And here I thought that 40 was being generous for new employees. Make me a haggle roll.
You know it. What is haggle? I have to look it up.
I'm going to call it a persuasion. And
I'm pretty sure it's the same as that.
yeah, because you either get a
Or
bonus
it's
to it or the
trading. Oh, it's trading. It's the same as trading.
Okay. Trading, then.
Where is it? Where's my stuff? I lost it. Sorry. Where's my skills? Oh, I see.
Not bad.
Persuasion would have been better. Oh well.
You drive a hard bargain, young lady. 45.
Deal.
And she puts out her hand to shake yours.
Ojikano itadaki arigato gozaimasu. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Don't fuck it up. And you leave her pachinko parlor.
Nomad, huh?
You gonna have a hard time with this, Trix?
Depends on who it is.
Shit.
Rather not kill
Look,
them if we can avoid it.
a problem solved is solved, right?
Last resort. In that
Last
case.
resort.
Which I think is a good place for us to put this session to bed and come back to more Night City Stargazers next time.
Whew.
Ooh. Hope y'all enjoyed.
You're an evil dick. I love it, but you're evil.
You know me.
Well done,
I
Amber.
know. Yes, well done. Very well done.
It was a very different direction than I thought the session was going to go, but you know what? It was enjoyable. And it still got back to...
I don't know why that's just what came to mind. Like as I was thinking about it, it's like all of a sudden, wait a minute.
Right.
Didn't quite go according to how I was expecting, but you know what? Not arguing with the outcome.
Me neither.
We got what we wanted, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Congratulations, everybody. Thank you guys for playing. It was very enjoyable, very fun. So, next up, we talk some experience. Let me pull up my stuff so that I know how many points I'm going to give y'all. So, let's talk about improvement points. So, everybody gets 10 for showing up for today. Congratulations.
Yay.
Yay! Next thing, let's talk about how it is that you work together as a group. Do you feel like you accomplished the mission you set out to do for this session?
Yes.
Well?
Yes.
With hiccups or went as according to plan?
I don't think we had any hiccups at all.
Pretty much according to plan.
Yeah.
I don't know how to treat this. This is a new experience for me.
Literally every roll was successful. Like, I don't know what the complaint could be.
Except for some net running rolls by Trix where she crit failed.
Look,
Those are
that is
free. Those are
literally
free. Those don't count.
look. We got there. That's all that matters. We got there.
Mm-hmm. I made up for it with all the crit successes I actually ended up getting.
Yeah, fair enough. So I would say the group worked together well, accomplishing most of the mission goals with everyone taking part in the adventure. So I'm going to say that's 30 points across the board.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
So then we have the 4 individual sort of roleplay prompts when it comes to the issuing of experience: the warrior, socializer, explorer, and role player. So it doesn't have to necessarily be combat skills, but who used their skills today to really push the plot forward, in a sense?
Trix.
It's Trix.
I was gonna say Lou, but I'm outvoted here.
Well, it's the votes that count. So
Lou swept in and stole the show, but you did all the legwork to get her there.
All right, I'll take that.
all right. Because there was a couple crit fails in there, I'm gonna say used skills often, even if not so exceptionally effective. So 10 points, Trix.
Gotta be honest.
Everything else is fine. It's when I'm net running that things tend to go sideways.
A little tits up, yep. Mm-hmm. Who was the socializer?
Loup.
Lou.
I'll take it.
All right. Yeah, we'll do another 10. Was a supportive and helpful part of the party in and out of game. So 10 points.
I'll take that if that's the case. Here, guys, here's the framework of what we're doing today. You see if you can pull it off.
Yeah. Basically. No, I mean, that's not unreasonable. That's not unreasonable to give to Slideye for that.
For
that
evil
explanation.
masterminder.
For the socializer part?
I mean, yeah.
We're giving socializer to Lou.
Yeah.
I was just saying the way you described it's like if I really wanted to.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then let's talk about
in and out.
Or the person who explored the world and situation.
I feel like that's Trix more than Lou.
I'll agree with that.
Well,
yeah, I'll agree with that one.
Okay. Attempted to investigate or explore the world often, even if not exceptionally effective.
Look,
she got around.
10 points.
I think she got around better than that, but okay, it's your judgment.
Yeah. Well, since there is a fourth roleplay prompt here, this is why I'm kind of going with the low levels.
Yeah.
The person who had maybe the best scene or best line, something that was exceptionally good for the roleplay today.
Lou got audience
Japanese.
vote. Lou did get the audience's vote today, so that's 10 points.
Nice. If it's not callous to vote for myself, I was going to say I did speak in Japanese.
Lou for the one bribing the cop.
That was pretty fun. Oh, I think we lost her.
That's too bad. She's right in the middle of a sentence.
Oh, yeah, she's having some.
Am I back?
No, I think I understood what you were saying. You said for bribing the cop, but also
getting us the opportunity through Wakako.
Yeah.
Then that one's going to Lou. Is that what we're saying?
Big D, you got the last vote.
Unless Derek has an honorable mention that he wants to throw in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think they're already on it.
All right. Then Lou will just give you 10 points for that role player.
Sure.
All right. Well, with that being said, that completes the session of Night City Stargazers here on CoffeeCat Presents. And hopefully you all have enjoyed the session and will come back for more. So yeah, and if you are not subscribed on YouTube, you should be, because that's where I post all of the VODs, usually a week behind the live show. And if you're on YouTube, you should come and follow on Twitch, because that's where we do everything live from the seat of our pants, including all of the, including putting together all of our plans. So come along with us for more. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and thanks to my players for being the best.
Thanks again, Coffee.
Great game, Coffee.
I know it's a little quiet on this one, but I have to admit, I'm internally smirking on this one.
Yeah.
Coffee, you did a lot of fantastic role play, and I think that you deserve a lot of points for it, and I'm sorry that you don't get any.
Yeah, well,
No,
I'm the storyteller. As Derek would say on his streams, it is not my story to tell, it is all of yours. The direction in which you go is the direction we will follow, because that is what's important to you.
No, what he gets instead of points are knives to use against us.
Yes.
Fair. Good point.
And there's plenty in all of your backstories for me to stab and twist.
I'm just going to do this, because I'm not going to lie. Your Wakako impression is damn near bad.
Right?
I'm glad I could, make a good impression. She's one of my favorite characters in Cyberpunk, so.
Wakako?
Yeah.
As far as understandably
go.
so.
Yeah.
So, understandably so.
Love it. I'm glad you liked that impression. I was trying very hard to channel her.
Oh no, it works. It works really well.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like whenever I end up deciding to break out Chunk. It's not a character you would expect me to end up being able to do, and yet you hear it as soon as I start into it. It's like, oh my god, I hear him.
Yes. Yes. I wish I could do that too, because otherwise I'd incorporate him into my games too.
Look, I already got called out because somebody ended up realizing I can actually do a half decent Dusty Rhodes.
That's not a character I'm familiar
Hard
with.
times, Daddy.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and for playing to my players. So, yeah, that does it for us. So say good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
And good night.